It's about iron and the sun and our burnout. Metabolic processes cause us to emit light. And in the sun, the nuclear fusion, it's basically the sun's metabolic processes emit its light. What happens is a whole bunch of atoms are thrown together violently, and they're moving violently, and they emit light. It's like a small amount of the mass of these atoms gets turned into light. The light is released. Stars are powered by nuclear fusion, which smashes lighter elements together to create heavier elements. During this process, a tiny amount of mass is converted into vast amounts of energy for the heat and the light. Okay. This is similar to our digestion in a way. So these lighter elements get heavier over time. These lighter elements release light, and then the elements become heavier and heavier until the thing that kills a star, you guys, is iron. Okay? I want you to get this. Iron marks the death sentence of a massive star because it is the most stable nuclear element. Once a star's core begins producing iron, the star can no longer generate energy through nuclear fusion. This causes an inevitable catastrophic collapse. Okay. You see, it goes through all the lighter elements, and when it's finally the iron atoms consume more energy. It consumes energy rather than releases it. There is no release of the heat and the light. It's sort of like, I remember reading somewhere that it took as much energy to digest an egg as the calories in an egg. I don't think this is true, actually, but it's the same principle. It takes all the sun's energy to deal with the iron, and no light and heat is released. At that point, a smaller star goes supernova, and then the rest of it turns into a black hole. And a bigger star, the like say one that's more than 20 times the size of the sun, the collapse is the core is so massive, it just turns into a black hole. Okay, there's another thread just to express what I'm wanting to say to you. Is Paul Sartre wrote a book called Iron in the Soul. And in it explores the themes of existential dread, individual responsibility, and the crushing isolation of defeat following the fall of France. The narrative captures the characters' internal experiences of guilt, despair, and disillusion of their previous lives during the war, highlighting the sense of profound existential emptiness. Okay. So I want to connect all this up with individual burnout. Okay. I feel individual burnout is really like the sun burning out. We stop being able to continue the way we're using our energy. We collapse. We can't do it anymore. And, in my experience for myself, when it happened, it's when I'm not listening to my soul. I'm not responding to my soul. I am going forward with an iron will. You think of somebody who's operating like they've decided something, they've got an iron will. They become less kind. They stop listening to anything of the heart. They won't want to hear anything from the heart. They won't want anything that takes them away from their idea of where they need to go. And when this takes over a person, they do burn out. You see, our outer reality is much more a reflection of us than we realize. And it's much friendlier. It's, you will only get from the outside world what you've given out at some point, this life or another. There's no, existential threat. But when we're burned out, it feels like it. And, the other thing I want to talk about, this is, if you could just follow this as best you can, volcanic ash can be used as a fertilizer. So these experiences we have where we get burned out, we just need to take time, and it's all going to be used for our betterment. If you take time and respond to yourself, love yourself, it will all be used to fertilize your inner garden. Please. Anything can be used to fertilize the inner garden. It's the mud of the lotus. Excrement is the best fertilizer. We just need to embrace ourselves, love ourselves. If you guys, remember I was talking about how measurement, the scientists who showed that constant measurement stopped these beryllium atoms from transforming. So if we just lay fallow, if you're burned out, just let the burnt ash fertilize your garden.